Alright, so now a quick little video here. I just added this little doohickey. It's just a chunk of ABS plastic, 2 studs in it. And around back you can see there are 2 big leads connected that go straight to the battery. Now the genius of this those are a little tighter than I would like. I may trim that some more tomorrow. But likely fine for, it's resting on a broken headlight bezel. It's plastic, so even if it cuts into it, it's not a big deal. But I will trim that some more, I just now noticed that. So here's the genius of this. I regularly find myself jumping off dead vehicles, whether it's mine, someone else's, like that Bronco's been sitting so long, that tractor sits a good bit, that lawnmower sits over the winter. There's 3 other dead vehicles back there. There's a backhoe over there that don't get driven much. They usually just kind of sit around and regularly need to be jumped. If I were to hop in that Bronco right now, I would likely need to jump it off. Or I get phone calls from friends who, hey, my battery's dead, or I'm working on his project down the bottom, we have no power, and of course the battery's dead. So on and so forth. This happens at least a couple of times a month where I have to jump off a dead vehicle, whether it's mine or someone else's. Even some random person in the Walmart parking lot who left their lights on when they went in the store. You always stop and help when you can. So this is a semi-regular occurrence. At least a couple times a month I need jumper cables for something. And beyond that, the other 2 reasons is I do have a receiver on the front of my truck. And I would like to find, say, around a 10,000 pound rated winch that I can mount to a plate to slip into the receiver, and have a winch I could use that isn't permanent to the front of my vehicle, but I could use it on my Bronco, or I could use it on my Jeep or F600 that was sitting back there, or I could use it on someone else's vehicle, or I could take it out in the field, just carrying a car battery along with me if I wanted to. So having this means I can easily spin these 2 lugs off. I didn't need wing nuts here, I don't have wing nuts on hand. And have my winch leads right there, and it's direct to the battery. Lastly, I have a large power inverter that I use for running lights, or power tool or 2, or whatever. I am limited by the amperage supply of my alternator. Regardless how big inverter I get, I cannot pull more than, I think, 14 point something amps off my alternator. Because the alternator is 90 amp. So what does 90 amps at 12 volts correlate to it? It would be like 9 or 10 amps, wouldn't it? I'm hazy on my electrical voice. I think it's only 9 amps. Anyhow, I have a larger power inverter that is intended to clip onto the battery. And I can just replace those 2 studs, or just clip them on here, and never have to open the hood to plug that in. I do use that a good bit. So those are my reasons for it. And it's a really easy thing to do that, it didn't take much time to do that. You take a step back, it's obviously there, but it's not blaring in front of the vehicle, and obviously between the giant bumper and the little rubber duck, I don't really care if it's something else bolted on the bumper, but yeah, just a quick little easy power spot for 12 volt power supply off your vehicle that you never have to pop the hood to get to, and you can run a lot more than you could off of a cigarette lighter. This is jumper cables up there, I think double aught wire. They're on-side stud, but I can live with myself for that. They were a little big. That's just what I had laying around. So the ideal is those 2 are my jumper cables. Obviously, they're not labeled positive, negative. You have to be mindful. This side's your positive, this side's your negative, and you have to be mindful of how you hook things up. But, and theoretically, I could even weld off of that if I wanted to. So just a quick, easy power source in the front of my truck. If you know of a large winch for sale somewhere for cheap, please let me know.